In the realm of information security, vulnerability assessments hold a critical role. They represent proactive measures designed to identify, quantify, and prioritize vulnerabilities in a system. An in-depth, nuanced understanding of vulnerability assessments involves peering into their historical development, significance, and both positive and negative implications. The concept of vulnerability assessments emerged in response to the evolving digital landscape and the consequent increase in cyber threats. Beginning in the late 20th century, as internet usage began to proliferate, organizations recognized the necessity of securing their digital assets. Early adaptations of vulnerability assessments were rudimentary, involving a simplistic scan of networks to find any open, unsecured ports. Fast forward to now, sophisticated tools and complex algorithms have been developed to enhance the effectiveness and accuracy of vulnerability assessments, integrating not just port scans, but also identification of susceptible software and insecure system configurations. Vulnerability assessments are pertinent due to their inherent role in risk management, compliance, and overall enhancement of cybersecurity stance. They provide valuable insights into the relative exposures that a system might face, enabling organizations to take consistent action to mitigate potential vulnerabilities before adversaries exploit them. Furthermore, in an era of stringent data governance and regulatory guidelines, such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, vulnerability assessments act as a pivotal tool ensuring compliance, thus protecting organizations from hefty fines and reputational damage that could arise from non-compliance. The proactive dimension of vulnerability assessments offers a significant advantage, enabling the identification of system weaknesses before they can be exploited. It aids in optimizing the allocation of resources by allowing organizations to focus on the highest risk vulnerabilities. Furthermore, it minimizes the likelihood and impact of potentially damaging cyber attacks, contributing significantly to an organization's cybersecurity posture. Nonetheless, vulnerability assessments are not without their weaknesses. End users often misinterpret the results, mistaking lack of identified vulnerabilities for total security. An inherent limitation lies in the fact that vulnerability assessments can only ascertain known weaknesses, leaving systems still susceptible to zero-day vulnerabilities, those undetected in software until exploited by hackers. Additionally, the execution of vulnerability assessments often requires planned downtime, which can disrupt an organization's operations, not to mention the potential false positives which can lead to wastage of resources. However, the efficacy of a vulnerability assessment is influenced by factors like the scope, frequency, and follow-up actions. For instance, an assessment confined to an organization's digital framework might overlook vulnerabilities in its physical infrastructure or human elements. The frequency of assessments can also be a challenging factor, as infrequent evaluations might leave systems exposed for extended periods, while too frequent evaluations have the potential of unnecessarily diverting resources. Lastly, the real value of conducting vulnerability assessments lies in the execution of follow-up actions, such as patching identified weaknesses and amending insecure practices. In summary, the advent of vulnerability assessments represented a significant moment in the development of cybersecurity practices, highlighting a shift towards proactive security measures. Armed with the ability to systematically uncover potential weaknesses in a system, vulnerability assessments have proven instrumental in enhancing an organization's risk management and compliance capabilities. Despite a few drawbacks, vulnerability assessments persist as an integral component of a robust cybersecurity program. Indeed, in a technology-driven era full of digital threats and rigorous regulatory concerns, the significance and necessity of regular vulnerability assessments are only set to increase.